Calm people often make others deeply uncomfortable in a world that thrives on emotional noise, instant reactions, validation-seeking behavior, and constant self-expression. And psychology reveals that this discomfort does not come from weakness or passivity, but from a subtle and often misunderstood form of power. Because when a person remains calm while others react emotionally, argue loudly, or seek approval desperately, the human brain automatically registers that calm individual as psychologically dominant, not because they are aggressive, but because they are unshaken. And the brain is hardwired to associate emotional control with authority, stability, and threat resistance. And this is why calm people are often labeled mysterious, cold, distant, or intimidating, even though they may not intend to project any power at all, because emotional neutrality removes the social signals people rely on to feel safe, such as visible anxiety, anger, excitement, or insecurity. And when these signals are missing, the mind becomes uneasy, as it cannot predict the calm person's intentions, reactions, or limits. And uncertainty is one of the strongest triggers of fear in the human nervous system, and neuroscience supports this by showing that calm behavior is linked to strong prefrontal cortex activity, the part of the brain responsible for logic, restraint, emotional regulation, and long-term thinking, while emotional reactivity is driven by the limbic system, which responds impulsively to perceived threats. And when two people interact, the one operating from logic while the other operates from emotion holds an invisible advantage, because the emotionally reactive person becomes transparent while the calm person remains unreadable. And unreadability creates power. And another reason calm people scare others is that they do not offer emotional validation easily. And psychology shows that most people unconsciously depend on emotional mirroring to feel accepted, safe, and understood, meaning they expect agreement, reassurance, excitement, or even conflict to confirm their presence. And when a calm individual does not mirror these emotions, it forces others to confront their own emotional state alone, without reinforcement, which can feel deeply exposing and uncomfortable, especially for people who rely on external validation first. And this is why calm people are often accused of being arrogant or detached, when in reality they are simply emotionally self-sufficient. And emotional self-sufficiency is intimidating because it cannot be influenced, pressured, or manipulated easily. And calm people also tend to pause before responding rather than reacting instantly, which creates psychological space, and space disrupts power dynamics, because silence makes people project their own fears, assumptions, and insecurities onto the calm individual, often imagining confidence, judgment, or hidden superiority where none is being expressed. And this projection intensifies discomfort. And psychology explains that humans fear those who cannot be emotionally read because emotional predictability equals safety, and unpredictability equals threat, even if the threat is imaginary. And another powerful reason calm people scare others is their resistance to emotional manipulation, because people who do not react strongly cannot be provoked, guilt-tripped, intimidated, or controlled through emotional pressure. And studies on emotional intelligence show that individuals with high self-articulation are far less vulnerable to social influence tactics, making them appear mentally strong and socially dominant, even without trying. And calm people also tend to observe more than they speak, silently analyzing tone, body language, contradictions, and intent. And humans are extremely sensitive to being observed without feedback, because it creates the feeling of being seen without being understood, which triggers vulnerability. And this is why people often feel uneasy around calm individuals, sensing that their words and behaviors are being noticed without judgment or reaction. And over time, this creates a reputation that calm people are hard to read, hard to impress, or hard to control, which automatically elevates their social status. And another hidden psychological factor is that calm people usually have nothing to prove. and people who do not seek validation disrupt social hierarchies built on attention, dominance displays, and emotional performance, making them difficult to compete with or categorize. And this lack of performative behavior signals internal confidence rather than external insecurity. And internal confidence feels more threatening than loud confidence because it suggests self-trust rather than approval-seeking. And calm people also handle conflict differently, because instead of escalating emotions, they remain steady, forcing the emotionally reactive person to carry the emotional burden alone, which often intensifies frustration, embarrassment, or self. And psychology confirms that the person who maintains emotional control during conflict usually gains psychological leverage, because they are not being driven by the need to win emotionally, but by clarity and restraint. And over time, people learn that calm individuals cannot be easily shaken, rushed, pressured, or emotionally cornered, and this reputation alone creates distance, respect, and sometimes fear. And finally, calm people scare others not because they are aggressive, dominant, or superior, but because they are internally aligned, emotionally independent, and mentally disciplined. And in a world addicted to reaction, noise, and emotional exposure, calmness becomes a rare signal of strength, self-mastery, and inner authority, which is why calm people often appear powerful without trying, intimidating without speaking, and influential without demanding attention, because the strongest form of power is not loud dominance over others, but quiet control over oneself.